let's get right down to it. The meat and potatoes. The reason why we're here, the reason why we're put on God's green earth is to talk about Daniel Bryan. I mean, let's just.
Let
All
me
right.
tell you guys a story.
What? Oh,
So
here we
my
go.
friend,
Jesus
my
Christ.
friend messaged me that Daniel Bryan had something really big on Raw happen, and I was like, okay. And then sometimes you mark out so much you say it. So he tells me what it is. So I look at Denny, and I'm like, yeah, Daniel Bryan retired tonight, and like a flush of emotions runs over his face. Right? He sits up, he sits back down, he lets out a deep breath, and I said, he retired tonight. But then he said, nah, not really. He's going to be in the Royal Rumble. He jumps up, dives over the couch I was sitting on. And that is, what a way to end the year. What a roller coaster of a year. From the highest to the highs, to the lowest to the low, to it's not over yet. What a story we have.
So before we go into that, I just want to say, so JCY, basically you cut the Daniel Bryan promo for him?
Yes. Because it's because my friend told me that Michael Cole kept telegraphing it like, oh, will he retire?
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about because we watched Raw after the fact, right? We watched Raw
playing video games.
Yeah, we watched Raw later in the night, and so when we were watching it, we were just like, I'm sitting here, I'm just like, man, I wish, I wish we didn't look that up, man. I really wanted to kind of get taken for the ride, I really wanted to, it's my favorite wrestler, and then. So, before Daniel Bryan comes out, Michael Cole's like, he's, come out and make an announcement, and it might just be, it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, my God, he's not, he's definitely not. Like, we would have known right there. It was just Avio telegraph nonsense, I think. But here's the thing. All right, so the main headline is Monday Night Raw, 12/29/2014. Daniel Bryan finally returns. He pretends possibly like he's hanging it up just to have a fiery promo saying that he is not retiring, that he is ready to go. He is going to be in the 2015 Royal Rumble. He is here to fight. He's here to get it on. And I gotta say, for anybody that questions, is it the man that's over? Is it the yes chant that's over? Is he really over? Was he just a flavor of the month, a flash in the pan? This man got everybody silent with his... Now, it was an emotional promo because he talked about his dad passing away. He got very emotional about his injury. And when he said, am I going to retire? And then when he just simply said no, the place friggin' exploded. And I turned to JCY and I said, that boy is over. I don't care what anybody says. The man, Bryan Danielson, is over like friggin' Rover, bro. And there's no friggin' way on God's green earth that he shouldn't be walking into the Rumble and winning the Rumble like he was supposed to do earlier this year.
Well, let's not say supposed to, since we know full well it was Batista the whole time.
I know, but I say supposed to as in it was D-Bry's year. Punk said it. People know it. You friggin' know it. Your mom knows it. Everybody knows
that now.
Sean.
I agree with everything you just said about D-Bry being over. And I just want to say to anybody who was bitching and moaning and complaining about, they telegraphed it, they this and that. Shut up. Shut up. Here's what you should do. If you complained about, and I'm sorry, I don't want to offend any of our fans, Denny, that's your job. But if you want to complain about Daniel Bryan coming back, pretty much like everybody's favorite guy, we missed him so much, and he comes back, and the way that they did this, here's what you do. Take the remote, change the channel, and don't turn on Raw ever again. Because clearly you just don't like the product. Because, listen.
Sean, you're right. Don't you get it, though? It's not we want this. It's we want this, and we want it in this exact way that I pictured in my head when I went to sleep right before I went to school the next day. And if I don't get it that way, it's terrible. Rollins and Ambrose need to main event this pay-per-view. Forget this pay-per-view. If Rollins and Ambrose don't main event, it sucks. Oh, my God, they're main eventing. This is awesome. Oh, my God, that finish was terrible. They shouldn't have been the main event. At least Cena and Orton had a clean finish. What do you want in the world?
That is so true. In every way.
Right. It's not this is what we want. It's this is what we want, and this is exactly how it needs to be.
This is what I heard on Facebook last night. I heard, pro wrestling did a thing that they always do in pro wrestling all the time. You faked pro wrestling. They do angles to fake you out, and you know this sometimes. And that's it. Here we go. Do I call out people right now? Because I'm looking at the Facebook group.
Please don't. They are human beings with families. It's the holiday season. Have a little compassion. My God.
Okay, here we go. Anonymous. By that I mean
Bruh.
DJ Georgie. The whole D-Bry thing was stupid. After all day hearing he was coming back for this announcement, they used the backstage gimmick of maybe this is goodbye, and have the announcers compare him to Edge's career and career-ending injuries. Just effing stop already. After seeing him backstage, we all knew he would declare for the Royal Rumble. Did we? Could you just watch it and go along with what's going on?
Maybe.
Can you stop for a minute?
Did you ever think half the people that watch the show don't sit on the internets all day looking at dirt sheets, and they had no idea Brian had an announcement until they turned the show on?
Don't you think that
maybe somebody just tuned in?
Kids that don't know, that are really like, oh my God, it's D-Bry. You know what I mean?
No, not only that, too. Here's my point on this whole thing. Up until, I mean, this is just me, because I do read the sheets like an idiot, and I didn't read anything about this until yesterday.
You're an idiot.
Here's the thing. We, for the most part, as fans, love Daniel Bryan. We want him to come back, and now, until yesterday, pretty much you take everything from when he got hurt until before yesterday. And everybody had no clue when he was coming back. People had no clue if he was coming back. And in a day
We're saying he's done.
Yeah, and in a day and age where you hear about anything if it's going to happen, and we didn't hear any kind of positive updates on his return, on his arm's feeling better, this or that, nothing. And then we're thinking months ago, okay, he should be good for the Rumble, and he should be good for Mania. And then that became, okay, let's hope he's good for the Rumble and he's good for Mania. And then that became, he's probably not going to be back in time for the Rumble or Mania, and we're going to have to sit through God knows how long without him. And then within one day, just because it was quote-unquote telegraphed that he was coming back, within one day we find out not only is he going to be good to go for Mania, he's good to go for the Rumble. So everybody just shut up, please.
I feel the same exact way, because before that announcement on Raw, I really just I had low expectations. I really thought he just was going to miss this entire Mania season, and it was back to the drawing board. So, like, I don't know what there is to complain about.
Yeah, and I posted something to the effect of this last night, but just sit back, take a deep breath, and just be happy for the fact that,
you like Daniel Bryan?
We got this guy back. He's coming back. Like, one of the main... You could say whatever you want about Raw the past few months, and a lot of it's true. But the fact of the matter is they've been missing guys. And if you're a fan of a team and half your roster gets hurt, the team's going to suck. They're going to lose. Yeah. And it's the same situation here. And we're getting one of our all-star premier players back. So be happy for that.
Yeah,
be happy that you can say that about him. The fact that Bryan Danielson is an all-star premier player. It goes back to my funny logic, and this might get a little psychological, but how come you want something to happen so much that you almost want to be told it's going to happen? But if you think, if you know it happens, then it becomes predictable and you hate it. If I got a postcard right now that said Daniel Bryan will defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, I'd be like, right, that's amazing. If somebody that really wants to see that got that same card, they'd probably go, oh, well, that's stupid. That's predictable. They telegraphed it. They gave me a postcard for it. I hate it. I don't want to see it. Like, what? Then why are you on the dirt sheets? Why do you want to know every little thing? If you want to be surprised, watch the show.
Here's an idea. All right. So you're complaining that it was telegraphed, that they pulled the age-old, like, oh, I have some bad news. No, actually, it's good news. Okay. Would you rather have Michael Cole cut to a graphic of D-Bry's smiling face with a up next underneath them saying, up next, Daniel Bryan's coming back, and he's going to tell us he's going to be in the Royal Rumble and that he's not retired?
Right.
Would you rather that? Would you rather that?
And I get it that a lot of people would have preferred for him to just randomly pop up in the Rumble, like, you know, it's counting down 3, 2, 1, and then all of a sudden his music hits. Yeah, that would have been an awesome moment.
And you know why that's not happening? Because Randy Orton's going to do that.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say the same thing. Because
Randy Orton's going to do
I beg to differ. You know why it's not happening?
Okay.
Because they dropped the no 6 month commitment. The 6 month commitment came back, and we need to announce as much as we can for this Royal Rumble.
Okay. That's not a bad point either.
I think D-Bry is strong enough to get everybody with it. And you know what's a funny thing that I just thought of? Do we not agree that the DC crowd sucked?
Yeah.
And they exploded for D-Bry. Mm-hmm. They exploded from coming out. They exploded for him saying no, they went crazy, and he said, "Am I gonna blah 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 blah?" Yes, and they exploded the pop of the night out of control. So tell me. Anyway,
and one more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, and one more thing too, is that even if people thought it was telegraphed, Daniel Bryan came out and he cut a heartfelt promo and he knocked it out of the park. Why are people mad about this?